Hello, my name is Stewart, and this is Live Stream Insiders for this particular week, and it is the 19th of June 2016. And you know what? The first time we tried this a few minutes ago, it stopped and it didn't work. We got up to about 3 minutes and then suddenly it all crashed, which was a little bit daft, really. But you know what? Blab is something we're going to be talking about in the program over the next 30 minutes because we set a timer on ourselves. So whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on replay, you know exactly how long this program is going to last. It should last no longer than 30 minutes. Live Stream Insiders is the show where every week we bring you all sorts of ideas and look backs, retrospectives, forward glances on the world of live streaming. My usual co-host is Krishna today. She can't make it this week because she's travelling back from the New Media Europe conference, which has been going on in London over the past couple of days. I am in London, wasn't at the conference, and even if I was, it wouldn't take me long to get back home because I'm also in London from where I'm broadcasting from right now. So over the next 29 minutes, we're going to be talking about Facebook Live and about Periscope and about Blab and also about some good streams and bad streams that we've spotted over the last 7 days. To help you make the most from live streaming. And we're going to be, I'm going to be talking for the next 28 minutes because I value your minutes and I value your megs. So just 28 minutes. So let's crack on with live streaming news from the past 7 days. As I say, the previous Blab crash and burned after 3 minutes. So fingers crossed for the next 28 minutes of our lives together. Thanks very much indeed for joining. So first of all, we're going to be speaking about Facebook Live because the vice president of Facebook has predicted that in 5 years' time, virtually all of your Facebook feed is going to be live video, probably all live video, said Nicola Mendelsohn this week. She said that the way it's going over the last few months, less and less text, more and more video. So therefore, in 5 years' time, your Facebook feed could be, quote, all video. That's what she said. Look, it kind of stands to reason. They want more people to be spending more time on video because when you do that, you're spending more time on their platform. With text, you can scroll through. With video, it's less easy to scroll through. And of course, what they've done is they've altered the algorithm, haven't they? We already know this, altered the algorithm over the past few months since Facebook Live went live to mean that when anyone posts a Facebook Live video to their feed, then it is automatically pumped out to more people than a straightforward text message on Facebook. They say video has been a key growth metric for Facebook. 500 million users watch video on Facebook every single day, and that is 100 million hours of Facebook every single day. Simply put, they suggest that video is a better way to tell stories. More on that and what Nicola Mendelsohn was saying over the course of the week via marketingland.com. Let's crack on. That's Facebook Live and an update from them over the course of this week and our first news item this week. You may not have heard about Periscope news. And that is that Periscope, they're bringing out an embed feature which will make sure that your Periscope live stream can be more embeddable on whatever other platform you choose it to be embeddable over the course of the coming weeks. Now, as we've said before, Periscope has been a bit on the back foot. They were first to market out of Facebook Live and Periscope /Twitter, of course, and they've rather been on the back foot since Facebook Live launched a few months ago. So what they're going to be doing is, instead of just being nestled that video in Periscope, you can watch it on the app, or you can have it that people can watch it in your Twitter feed. They're going to make it much more able for you, much more increasingly able for you to take that recording of the video and to put it on another platform. So you're able already, of course, to put it on Twitter, on Periscope. You can also post it onto a Facebook feed, but they're also going to make it much more easy for you to post it somewhere else as well. And of course, that means it's going to be much more discoverable and much more engaging for people to be able to watch it. Because at the moment, it's a little bit difficult to see. It's one of the main criticisms of Periscope. But they say, in the future, you don't need to have Periscope. You don't even need to know what Periscope is. But you're going to be able to find it much more easily. So thereby encouraging people to be using Periscope rather than Facebook Live. Something we've been saying for a long time, that why is Twitter's live video stream even called Periscope? It seems mad to encourage people to have another app they've got to download to use. Yes, of course, you can now do live videos straight from Twitter. When you go to your composed tweet, you've now got those three icons, haven't you? You can post a video, you can post a picture, a stills picture, or you can go live. But if you want to go live, you've still got to go via Periscope. That seems mightily awkward. Okay, let's move on to our third topic this week with 24 minutes to go. Only 30-minute program here on Blab. And you know what? This is rather ironic because we're going to be talking about Blab on Blab and the restrictions about Blab, because this big problem that it's only in beta, that it does keep crashing. And that's what happened to us about 5 minutes ago when we had our first outing here on Blab on episode, what are we? Episode 38. After 3 minutes, it crashed. We sank without trace. Suddenly, off it went. No word or warning, no whys or wherefores. Suddenly, I was looking at a blank screen and no little green light next to my camera. And you know what? Social Media Examiner have found the same things. And they have announced over the last 7 days they are abandoning Blab for their live weekly broadcast. A great idea, but it's just not good enough. It does keep crashing. So Social Media Examiner announcing they're considering other platforms, including Appear.in. I love that name, Appear in, and also using Wirecast to broadcast to their Facebook page. That's from our very own Barbara Tomlin, who spotted that and posted it on her Facebook page. So a couple of other people wrote, seems everyone is scrambling to replace what Blab brought to the table, not just ways to simulcast. Says a lot about how treasured the Blab platform was. And Manna Stevenson said, the hardest thing was logging on to Blab in the first place. Discoverability and search on Blab is terrible, she said. And you know what? I think we would concur with that. Very, very difficult indeed to have any kind of security when you're on Blab. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know whether people are going to find you. If they do find you at all, they've got to sign in before they can actually watch and contribute. That's just not good enough, Blab. And you know what? Me, Peter Stewart, on Livestream Insiders, and Krishna Day have been looking around for several weeks to find something which is a bit more robust. So perhaps we're not going to be on Blab with Livestream Insiders for much longer. Meerkat news. What's that? You thought Meerkat wasn't around anymore? Well, let me tell you it is, because a few weeks ago we talked about how Meerkat was going away from their live streaming direct, which was something akin to Periscope after all. They decided they were going to take a bit of a break from that. They decided they were going to pivot. They decided they were going to shift their focus towards something a little bit like Blab. Who would have thought? And you know what? Suddenly it's been outed that they've been around for a few months. Meerkat, no, not actually broadcasting on Meerkat, but broadcasting something like Blab under the app called House Party. Yeah, it is Meerkat who are behind the House Party app. So, tell you a bit about that when I take a sip. And it means that you can get together with your friends and you can broadcast on House Party. They say it's a little bit like airtime. It's a little bit like a few other things, like Blab, for example. They say it's a similar approach, but it's much more streamlined. It's much more straightforward. They say it doesn't have the bells and whistles of some of their rivals. it may mean that's a little bit more robust. And also thenextweb.com, who brought this to my attention, saying they won't be surprised if Facebook does something like Blab in the near future. So stay tuned for that. And as soon as we know, we'll bring that to you on our regular Sunday night programs here on Live Stream Insiders. Well, as one app comes up, another one is going to die. As kind of the yin and the yang, it's the kind of the sweet and the sour to make way for another app. One has to disappear. So House Party coming to the fore. Spreecast, that you may have used in the future, is no longer. At least give it a couple of weeks and it won't be any longer. Spreecast was founded in 2011. It was going great guns. They were getting a lot of people on board. Come February 2012, they had Gary Vaynerchuk on board, who was acting as an advisor to them. This is some of what they said in their announcement when Spreecast said they were going to close down. They said many different people and companies gave Spreecast a try. Some became habitual users, life coaches, podcasters, media companies, think tanks, social groups, religious groups, celebrities. But they said, you know what, in the end, quote, we were not able to make Spreecast a viable business. Not actually given a reason, but we can guess at that, can't we? Because the amount of money which is used to stream live video and then to archive live video and to have other people sharing live video and contribute to live video when it's live and also when it's in archive is a huge amount of money. We've talked about this on the program before, and it's going to take just the big companies, the Facebooks and the Twitter, and they're not doing so well at the moment anyway, are they, to actually make it work. However, Spreecast say without that kind of backing, and they have had millions and millions of pounds in funding put into them over the last 5 or 6 years. Back in 2011, they got $4 million and they started off with $7 million. They can't make it work. So it's going to be a platform for the big boys to be involved with in the future. So quite how House Party is going to make it work when Spreecast can't, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so we've done Facebook Live, we've done House Party, we've done Periscope, we've done Spreecast. Let me tell you about this little known company called YouTube. You may have heard about them. I'm being ironic, of course. Not quite live streaming. However, YouTube is bringing out something just in the United States at the moment called YouTube Director. They say it's going to be much, much easier for businesses to put together a video advert that can run on YouTube. And this app that you can download, you can have a little play around, YouTube Director, if you're in the United States, it's going to be very, very easy, very, very straightforward for you to put together your video advert. So not live streaming per se, but something not a million miles away from it. So they're trying to promote the app, and you can provide the logo, provide screenshots and other bits and pieces, and then YouTube will automatically use all of those different aspects, all those different ingredients to put together, according to their recipe, a nice little advert for your business, which sounds really, really good. Incidentally, if you want something very, very similar and you're not in the United States or you're not interested in YouTube, try something similar with an app which is available on Android and also on iOS. It's called Quick, Q-U-I-K, missing out that C, Q-U-I-K. It is free. It is fantastic. Have a little play around with that. And what that'll do is it'll take some videos that you choose from your camera roll. We'll take some still photos that you choose from your camera roll, and we'll put it together with some music, either inside the Quick app or music that you've already got on your phone. You can add text to it as well, an introduction, an outro. You can put text over the pictures, you can put text over the video, and it'll put it all together according to the beats of the music. And we'll also make the duration whatever you want as well. So you can make it Instagrammable, or you can make it Twitterable, so under 30 seconds, or you can make it slightly longer. Check it out, Q-U-I-K. Another new app alert that you may not have heard about is Bumpers. Again, it's not quite live streaming, but you know what? I'm going to stretch a point for the purposes of this, because it is, we're not going to be talking about it much, but very, very briefly, what it is, it's another app that lets you record edit and publish audio. So not live, but a kind of podcast. So I'm guessing that if you're watching this, if you're interested in live streaming video, you may be interested in recorded audio. So therefore a podcast. They say creating a podcast right now is incredibly difficult. It's impossible to know where to host it. You've got to buy a microphone. You've got to get expensive software, they say, to edit it. You've then got to find an audience. They're going to do an awful lot of this for you with bumpers. They say, just record it in our app. They cut the audio up and around, and they work out where to drop in little bits of music and so on. And you can mark different sections so you know where to go exactly, and where your audience can go to different parts of what it is that you're saying with your podcast. You can insert little music drop-ins, little bumpers as they're called, in the audio and music business. And then once published, they host it all for you. And then you can send that file to your friends. They'll publish it to their platform, to their network. They'll let the people know who've subscribed to follow you what it's all about, and that a new edition is available. So that is the Bumpers app, available in iOS and also in Android. This is Peter Stewart. My name is Peter Stewart, and I'm associated with Live Stream Insiders every Sunday night from 7 o'clock, live from London. As you can see from my backdrop, we have a 30 minutes of news all about live streaming. So I'm about halfway through at the moment. Thank you very much indeed for watching. And one of our features that we do every week, we look at good streams and bad streams, and we tell you what we've spotted in the week, and also what we could learn from it, and what you may want to learn from it as well. So right across all the different platforms, some of the issues that people are talking about, and some of the things they have streamed over the previous 7 days. We've already mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk this week. He's going to get a second mention now, because this last week, Gary Vaynerchuk did a Facebook Live video that was actually live. What's that? Of course it was live. No, of course about it at all. Let me explain. Because Gary Vaynerchuk, who talks really, really quickly, a little bit like me perhaps, he has been in the process of doing some Facebook Live videos which have been pre-recorded. And you may think, that's a little bit odd. How does he do that, Peter? Yeah, apparently he's done some pre-recorded videos. He's simply hooked up his phone to give the impression that he's there doing them live. This is quite straightforward to do. If you do it through an HD TV, so you don't have all the different lines working quite as hard, because if you do that on an old TV and you put your camera in front of it, it's going to keep trying to refocus, which is going to look very, very odd. It's going to give the game away. If you do it on the best quality HD TV, I think Gary's got the money to be able to afford one of the very, very best models. It looks as though it is just coming straight from your phone, rather than being broadcast through another platform or another outlet. Now, I didn't see any of these, but I know some periscopers who've also done pre-recorded periscopes and then put them out as live. The advantage of that is, of course, that you can do your program when you want to do it, when it's convenient to you. And also it means, if you're thinking to yourself, well, if you've got to set it all up, then surely you might as well do it live anyway. Not necessarily, because of course you could give someone else access to the pre-recorded video, and then someone access to your Facebook Live or your Periscope account, so they can just do that maybe in the middle of the night to catch another audience for you. Or maybe you could do it while you're at a conference or going about your business, or maybe you're in a conference meeting or a conference call or another kind of meeting or another kind of presentation. So that's the reason behind it. So Periscopers have been doing this, Facebook Livers have been doing it, including Gary Vaynerchuk himself. How do you get around giving away the comments in your speech that you're not live? Well, you just make generic kind of comments. Hello, everyone. Thanks very much indeed for joining me, because you know they will. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for all the comments, because you know they will. So that's not a problem. And you can just kind of almost make up answers to some of the questions that you anticipate. Now, is this misleading? Is it unethical? Well, Mr. Vaynerchuk says he was simply checking out Facebook Live. He was simply testing out what the app was capable of. He said, you would expect me to do this on your behalf. You know what? The viewers seem to accept that. But what are your views? Is that ethical? Is it acceptable to give the impression you're live? What is a live platform, which is called Facebook Live, but actually you're pre-recorded? Very, very strange. Very, very strange indeed. Let's move on to a couple of other examples of some live streaming this week. And Germany's RTL TV station used Facebook Live to broadcast the extension of a TV show. So this is quite interesting. What they did was they had a TV episode all about science. They had a physics student called a guy called Philip Hauser. He runs a YouTube channel you may have come across called Phil's Physics. And they had him on the show, on the TV, doing a whole series of science experiments. Trouble is, because it was live TV, it went on a little bit longer than it planned. And they had the news coming up. And the news, nothing stops for the news, nothing stops. And that had to start dead on time. However, they had a grand finale of an experiment which no one was going to be able to see. So what they did was they finished the TV broadcast on time so other people could go and watch the news. And then they hopped over and did the rest of that physics science experiment on Facebook Live, which was really, really interesting. And the morning after that show, the number of people who watched it live and the archive version was 90,000 views. And incidentally, it being a commercial TV station in Germany, even when the program on TV was live, what they did was they had Facebook Live running at the same time so they could interact with people on Facebook Live while the commercials were running on that TV show. So I thought that was a particularly interesting use as well. A couple of other examples of how other companies have been using live streaming. So let's tell you about those. And Kevin, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Dunkin' Donuts have been talking about how they've been using Facebook Live on marketingland.com. So go to marketingland.com to find out a little bit more about what I'm about to bring you. Melanie Cohn is social media manager for Dunkin' Donuts, and they say they've had huge success on Facebook Live. They started using it back in February. And they said one of the first examples that they used Facebook Live was a special recipe for a donut cake, which they broadcast on Facebook Live. And they said that they're, let's have a little bit look down here. I think that's, that's another example. She said, it's hard to get just 3 seconds of attention on video now. We see live as a huge driver of time spent with our content. Since you don't know what's going to happen next, it keeps people watching for longer. That's a really interesting thought process. I'll come back to that in a few moments' time. So Dunkin' Donuts using Facebook Live. Also, Young Turks News Network are using it as well. Haven't used it much, but they've had some really strong feedback on how they've been using it. Steve O is their Chief Business Officer. And as I say, you can read all about this on marketingland.com. He says, we do rallies, we do interviews. Facebook Live, super easy to use. We know that already because, of course, you can do it on your phone. Therefore, you can do it anywhere. They use Facebook Live before they do one of their other live streaming shows. So they use it as another promotion tool to publicize on one platform what they're going to be doing on another platform. They say it allows a huge amount of interaction between the broadcaster and the viewers, but also between the viewers as well. So I could be watching and other people could be having conversations on Facebook Live or on Periscope between them. Of course, that's something which we don't often consider. And also because it goes into archive and people can watch it until the end of the time, that video continues to accumulate views as video on demand. So at Dunkin' Donuts, and there's also the Young Turks News Network as well. Tastemade is another company as well. And Tastemade, their head of programming, Oren Katzev, said his team has already started experimenting with repurposing Facebook Live footage for other platforms. They say most recently we used a portion of our live pancake art video featuring an Adele-inspired pancake to celebrate the singer's birthday on Snapchat. There's a sentence I didn't think I'd ever talk about. Pancake art with Adele-inspired pancakes celebrating the singer's birthday on Snapchat. Boy, oh boy, got a lot of things happening there. But they say that Facebook Live means they've got a direct connection with the audience. They're commenting, they're making suggestions, they're asking questions. If there's a mistake, you can't edit it out. They say there's a whole frisson of excitement around live video. They've given some stats, and I'm going to pass them on to you. They have a live tiny kitchen broadcast that had over 100,000 views in a 20-minute segment. And because, of course, people can watch it after the fact, over 1 million views in total. And let me bring you another example. So example number 4, and that is the International House of Pancakes. So IHOP, they created 3 unorthodox videos as long as 90 minutes. And what they did was something really different. They didn't have a presenter. They didn't make it a whiz bang. They didn't have things that were moving. Simply what they did was they had 3 different videos about 3 different flavors of pancakes: the strawberry passion fruit, the banana macadamia nut, and the pineapple upside down. Boy, oh boy, I begin to feel a little bit really just talking about those. And all they had was a plate with those pancakes on, and that was it. And they had them stationary, no commentary, no movement, apart from they had one of them, for example, on a beach location. So in the background, you saw the waves rolling in. Occasionally you saw someone walking down the beach. Occasionally you saw someone going out to surf. Occasionally you saw some seagulls in the sky. And that was it for 90 minutes. Nothing much happened. But you know what? They say they got 385,000 views. They say the videos were really sticky. In other words, people stuck around to watch them. They had a captive audience for 171,000 minutes. On average, they say, people were hanging around to watch these pancakes doing nothing apart from getting increasingly cold for 3 minutes per viewer. They say they've got 3 lessons to learn from this. 1, the story that you're going to tell has got to be true to the product. Number 2, look for an immersive experience. And number 3, go into the engagements with a results-oriented intent. Now, something I referred to a few minutes ago, because I thought this was really, really interesting, and that is essentially live or recorded and edited, like you might find on a YouTube channel. There's not much paper between them. It's only a cigarette paper between them. You know what? Back in the day when TV was live and had to be live in the 40s and in the 50s, you would see all of the mistakes, and people got really fed up with the mistakes. People on live drama programs, people on live presentation programs forgetting their lines. There was perhaps no auto cue. Something went wrong. Someone dropped the vase that they were carrying across the scene. The wobbly set. Yeah, things happening when they shouldn't have happened. People got a bit fed up with that. And then, boy, oh boy, we don't have to do it any live anymore. We can actually record it, and we can cut out all the times the bits went wrong. We can cut out all the boring bits. We can cut out all the bits where someone dropped something. We can cut out all of the bits where someone forgot their lines, and we can edit it all together to make it smooth, to make it fantastic, so we're not wasting people's time. And you know what? That went on from the 50s all the way up to, what should we say, the 2010s, the 2015s, when out came the Bamboozers and the Ustreams and the Meerkats and the Periscopes and the Facebook Live. And now what people are saying is, oh no, we don't want it. We don't want it pre-recorded and edited and smooth and slick and fantastic and professional. No, 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 no. What we want now is the immersive. What we want is the raw. What we want now is the true to life. What we want now is the unedited version, because that is much better. That is much more ethical. That's better. That's what people want. So it's strange, isn't it, that what people wanted 60, 70 years ago was the edited experience because it was presumed to be better for us and something that we liked. And now what we presume is people want the raw experience because it is much more true to heart, is much more ethical. And we're back to ethics again, and whether a live stream should really be live or whether it should be unedited and then recorded as such and then put out on a live stream. And pop is eating itself, isn't it? Because we've got all sorts of different platforms, all sorts of different concepts merging and clashing here. I suppose what we're saying is anything goes. And talking about goes, that is it. Our 30-minute broadcast is nearly up. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Thank you very much indeed for the loan of your eyes and your ears. That has been Live Stream Insiders for another Sunday night. And my name is Peter Stewart. Thank you very much indeed for being here. And I'll be back in another 7 days with Krishna Day for more up-to-date news from the world of live streaming.